Good Wednesday evening, listeners, and welcome to another edition of Conversations of a Sister here on my YouTube channel. For those of you who are tuning in tonight, I thank you for tuning in to tonight's conversation. I've been reading your emails that are coming to me via my inbox, my blog, asking me about my show, updates to my show, guests, so on and so forth. And I see you, I see them, and I appreciate it. I just feel like lately I've become a regular Dear Abby. Instead of Dear Abby, I feel like I'm a Dear Tracy because I appreciate all of the emails, all the comments, everything you write to me, but a lot of my readers and a lot of my listeners are asking for my opinion when it comes down to your relationships. And I think I said it a week ago or a couple of weeks ago, the last time that I was on the air. While I am no expert in relationships, yes, I've written a book, Conversations of a Sister, that talks and speaks to relationships, but I am no professional when it comes to relationships. However, I like to talk about them. I like to have conversations about them. And what you get is basically my opinion. I had one reader send me a couple of emails this week asking me how come I was not blogging about the Sean Combs trial. I can tell you one is because I'm just not interested in the trial. Um, I'm not interested in really following the trial. And for the first time today, I think it was, I've actually heard some of the details concerning the trial because it came out on the news. It was discussed on the news. And the details that I'm hearing or I've heard thus far are extremely disturbing. I know that Cassie Ventura, which was Sean Combs' last girlfriend, or you know what, I should say, the one who came out on the video where he stomped and kicked her and dragged her down the hall. I know that she's testifying. She's currently testifying in that trial about that day and about her relationship with him. And what's disturbing is the fact that not so much, well, yes, the fact that she was abused by him, but she said something today that was truly disturbing. And she talked about the STIs, the diseases that she contracted from all of these sexual encounters that he wanted her to have, you know? And when I thought about it, I thought that was pretty sad because with every event or every situation that she talked about, she kept saying how she did it because she loved him. She did it because she loved him. That was the one thing she kept saying. I did it because I loved him. She said, I did it because I loved him. I was young, she said, and I loved him. I did it because I was young and I loved him. And, I thought about that and I thought about the emails I received about talking about it. And the first thing that came to my mind was, wow, um, she not have anyone in her life to tell her that that was not a healthy love. A healthy love, when you're in a healthy love, you're going to respect each other for one, and you are going to respect yourselves physically. He's going to respect your body if you're having sex and vice versa. And by having her, first of all, have sex um, with men, escorts, just for the thrill of it, for the thrill of him, that's not respecting her or respecting her body. So, when I think about that, I think to myself, well, wow, did she love him more than she loved herself? Because you have to love yourself. If no one else is going to love you, you have to love yourself. You have to respect yourself. And that was not a healthy love. And in my mind, I'm thinking, was there no one in her life to tell her that? Was there no one to say that love is not healthy? Someone who loves you is not going to ask you to have sex with someone else unless you're involved in a threesome, but that's a whole nother conversation. However, but to abuse you and to have you abuse your body to that extent, that's not a healthy love. And you have to see or experience a healthy love in order to know that a love is healthy. You have to see it in your parents or in individuals around you in order to know what healthy love is. And she didn't recognize that as a toxic relationship. And I think that she credits a lot of it to the fact that she was young. She was 19 years old. So basically, he was grooming her. He was grooming her for the way that he wanted her. And, when she first met him, everything was good. He was great to her. He was wonderful. And she was excited to be around him because he was showing puffy combs. She said everybody wanted to be around him. He was just this fun guy. A fun guy with what, 5 kids? A fun guy with 6 kids. He was a fun guy. And he abused her. Does he not realize that he has daughters? Does he not realize that karma is real? What goes around comes around, it repeats. And I say what happened to Cassie also happened to Kim Porter. Kim Porter just got out of it. She didn't remain. Yes, she's deceased, but she got out of it. Cassie got out of it too. And thank God she got out of it alive. But she said something that was very disturbing. And that was there was some infections that she had that all of the medication in the world couldn't cure. So I thought to myself, wow. So she have lifetime STIs or STDs. She has a lifetime STDs. So he didn't love her. He didn't care about her. And what sadly is, she didn't think about these things with herself. And she has a husband. She's married now. She's 8 months pregnant. And she's due June 1st. And she's having to relive all of this again while she is carrying a child. Can you imagine the stress and the trauma that she must be dealing with in order to rehatch her relationship with Sean Combs, to go over this? And they were saying today that there was some video footage that they showed in court that only the lawyers, her, and Sean Combs could see because the videos are that graphic. And he filmed these sexcapades, these freak offs, I guess as collateral. I think she said that he threatened her. He would threaten her by telling her that he was going to release them to ruin her career. It was just not, that's not healthy love. She was not in a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship, a healthy love relationship is one of mutual respect. It is one of caring. It is one of putting yourself before the other person. And that goes both ways. It is knowing what hurts that individual and rectifying it as soon as possible and just not doing it again. They were not in a healthy relationship. The relationship was not only abusive sexually, it was abusive mentally, emotionally, and physically. Again, that was not a healthy love. You have to know what healthy love is. And I don't know if there was anyone in her life that was telling her this. Because I know that there is other people, other witnesses that are going to come forth who are going to testify about what they know, about what they saw. And I'm just wondering, did she have anybody in her circle to tell her? Because I'm thinking that she didn't. I'm thinking that there was no one in her circle to tell her that this love that she had with him was just not self was not healthy. I don't care how much money he had. I don't care about the prestige or the fame. She was not in a healthy relationship. And I think that is sad that she was abused. And I think that is sad that he's damaged her physically. But I also know that right now she is being questioned by the prosecutors. His defense team has not started questioning her yet. And when they do, they will not paint her as a victim. They will paint her as a willing participant. They're going to be like, you know, you were abused, but you remained there for however long. It was a long period of time. I don't even know. But they're going to say you remained there. To me, when you're getting abused, 5 minutes is too long. But they're going to say to her, you were there for X amount of years. So you must have liked it. They're going to label her a participant. They're not going to see her as a victim. People are already doing that in the media, on social media, in the news. They're already labeling her. They were like, who would stay with someone for that long? Who would deal with someone for that long? It's easy to ask that question when you are not in that situation, when you don't have that type of personality. I can say that when you are in love with someone, there are certain things that you tolerate. And you tolerate it because you think that they're going to change or you think the situation is going to change. So, how long do you remain waiting for that situation to change? When do you say enough is enough before the situation changes? I think as you get older, as you learn, as you experience certain things in the relationship, at some point you come to your senses and you say, enough is enough. It's like you just snap out of it and you say enough is enough. Maybe this is what happened to her. Maybe she had the strength to do that. Because I think she said that when she broke up with him, she was living with a friend and he broke into the friend's house. I don't know if he pistol whipped the friend. I can't remember. But he did something to the friend and he raped her. He raped Cassie. And then I think her current husband, who might have been her then boyfriend, I think he planted a bomb in his car because she was with him. So for me, his control was not so much about leaking the videos to ruin her career. I think to a certain extent, it was about protecting himself and protecting his reputation. Because why else do you go to those lengths to threaten people? I mean, look, the hotel camera, he paid those people a lot of money to conceal that video. And the video got out anyway. So that was like what? Money thrown away? The video still got out of him beating her in the hallway. The video was still made public. So it was no longer a secret because the video leaked. And when the video leaked, everybody was like, oh my God, he's done. His career is over. And the thing that was embarrassing was the fact that he came on television and he apologized and said, I was in a dark, dark place after the video went public. Before the video went public, he categorically denied it. So he had to feel what, stupid once the video came out because people was like, oh, he's a liar. Oh, he lies. He really did abuse her. So now it's all out in the open. And yes, his defense team came up with a very good strategy. Their opening statements were that he is not an abuser, something to the extent that they were both in a relationship. They were both physically abusive to each other. The sex was consensual, and this is something that they intend to prove. So they're already spinning it that way. There was no sex trafficking. Everybody was consenting adults. That's what they're saying. That's how this trial is going to go down. And people are like, I'm in for this for the next 8 weeks. I'm in for the long haul. And I think that we're going to hear about it, whether we want to hear about it or not, because between that and Trump's plane from Qatar being unconstitutional or against the Constitution and the Diddy trial, that's what's in the news. So I think that we're going to hear it, whether we want to or not, because this is where we are. But it's not, that situation was not a healthy love. And I pray now, Cassie's married. I pray that that's what she's experiencing. I pray that she knows healthy love because this is her third child. So I hope that she is in a healthy relationship and that from this hellish experience, that she got something beautiful out of it, that being a healthy relationship. So a healthy love is respect amongst two people. A healthy love is not one-sided. For example, it just can't be about sex. If a relationship is just about sex, you might want to reconsider that relationship unless it's just a sexual relationship. But if you want more, it has to be more than sex. What do I think about that? I think that sex is the last thing that two people should have in a relationship because you need to see everything else before you commit to a soul tie because that's what it is. It's a soul tie when you have sex with someone. And if you've had many partners, as they've had many partners, then all those partners hook up together when the two of you hook up. So it becomes one big fat soul tie. If you were with 20 people, he was with 20 people, and then you both come together as two people, you're bringing 40 people to the connection. you're bringing 40 people to the experience because it's a soul tie. So before you get your soul tied, you want to know what your soul is tying to. People think that they can just have sex and get up and everything is cool. I'm under control. But it's not that easy. There's consequences to everything. And I think that when we start living as if there are consequences, then we'll make better choices. I received an email from a reader who wanted my opinion. She's been in a relationship with her boyfriend for the past 3 years, and he's asked her to move in with him. And not only did he ask her to move in with him, his idea is to split the rent. And she's asking me, oh, I don't know what to do. I like being with him. I like spending time with him. It's been 3 years, but do I want to move in with him and split the rent? Do I want to move in with him, she said, and split the rent? Are you splitting your rent now? If you're listening to my show because you told me you listen, are you splitting your rent now? Because if you live on your own and you're paying your own rent, why would you move in with someone else and split the rent? Unless you just want to take that for a ride. You want to take it for a spin. But to me, it makes absolutely no sense. You're going to move in and you're going to split the rent. Where is the cost savings? Oh, because you're splitting the rent, you're going to save more money. I can't understand it. She had asked me, he's asking me to move in with him. And, we've been in a relationship for 3 years. We love each other, but I really don't know what to do. And he is asking me to split the rent. Well, if you pay your own rent now and you pay your own rent comfortably, I would keep paying my own rent. If he was paying for all of the rent, would I move in with him? No. But that's me. I would not move in with him. I am not going to play house with my time, my body, or my emotions. And I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and she said, you don't really know someone until you live with them. That might be true, but I don't want to really know them like that until it's time for us to live together. And when we say I do, then it's time for us to live together. In the meantime, with these little sleepovers, what's so good about them is that you send the person home. It's not something that you deal with full time. Deal with full time when full time is presented. Until full time is presented, then you don't go full time. And if you have to ask me if you should move in and split the rent, then you are already uncomfortable about moving in and splitting the rent because you can live comfortably all by yourself unless you feel like you can't. And this is a cost savings. So, what happens if the relationship goes south? I guess that's a chance that you're willing to take. Because after all, how are you going to know, right? I wouldn't want to find out that way. I was talking to this male friend of mine the other week. He's in a relationship with a woman. He's been in a relationship with her for the past 3 years. She moved in with him. He's tired of her. He wants her to go. She won't leave. It's his apartment, and he's miserable. How long has she lived with you? I asked him. And I think he said a period of 3 years. Uh, she do now have squatters' rights. She could take him to court. You can get into the legalities of it. So before you make these types of decisions, know that if it goes south, there are several things that can be involved that will not work out in your favor. So when you're taking those types of chances, because you're doing something that is not recognized by law. So when you go to the law to get your half, it may not work out in your favor because of how it's done. So you have to think about that. You have to think about your self worth. Well, what am I worth? What is the value of me doing this? Because after all, this is my time, this is my attention. This is not just my life, this is also my body and my well being. So you have to think about that. So suppose the person that's living with my friend, suppose she take him to court and say, well, I want my TV. I bought this, I bought that. Then you're going to produce receipts. Then it's going to become messy. I want my part of the deposit that was put down on the apartment. Then it becomes messy because you're dragging a legal system in to a situation that was not legal. So when you live with someone, that's a chance that you take. When you marry someone, it's a chance that you take. The only difference is you have laws on your side. That's the only difference. My advice, seek healthy love. Make sure when you are involved with your mate that he considers you first, and vice versa, that you consider him first. And then you decide to do what's best for the both of you. That's my 2 cents anyway. I thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week on next week's Conversations of a Sister. Until then, be well and have a great week.